Hi everyone, this is Xanthi and welcome back to my channel, Into Pieces, and today I'm going to do something slightly different. Well, it's very different to me. I'm going to talk about a rental service for jigsaw puzzles that you can get a subscription for. Now this is specifically about the Borrowed Piece. That's the name of the company. So if you live in Australia, this one's for you if you want to explore the world of puzzle subscriptions. Now, I think back in the past, pre-COVID, I remember there was a company in Australia, and I can't remember their name, that did actually do the subscription-based sort of puzzles, which, I didn't really pick up on, at the time, and they disappeared. But just recently, the Borrowed Piece popped up, and I saw them on Instagram. And what was great about them is that they asked for feedback on like what sort of brands would we want to see. And I gave back feedback. I gave feedback, and I'm sure many other Australians did as well. And one of the things that I said was that I really want to see brands that are either difficult to find here in Australia, or they're very expensive. A lot of the sort of boutique kind of brands, I really didn't think it was worth doing a subscription for brands that I could find easily online or easily in the stores here. I wanted something that was like a bit more hard to get and add to my puzzling experience. So and the great thing is it looks like the owner, she took on this feedback, and because we can see with on her website, which I'll pop down in the description notes for this video, there's a lot of brands there that are just I've always wanted to do, but never really had the finances or the opportunity to do, like Art and Fable, which I've done one of and absolutely loved, and that belonged to someone that I knew. It wasn't one that I had. Soonness, which is incredibly expensive here, not that easy to get either. Unified Pieces, again, I don't know if anyone here actually sells it here in Australia. Reverie, which is an Australian company, which is a little bit easier to get for us here, but very expensive as well. So the idea is that, well, why, Xanthi? You've got all these puzzles here. Why do you feel the need to do a subscription? It's because to try these new brands. They cost a lot, and yeah, after you've done them, maybe if you don't want to keep them, you can do a resale, but it costs money to it costs no, what I'm trying to say is that it takes effort to resell. You get some of your money back, but then, you might have to ship to someone, and then you have your time wasters, and, it's a hassle. So I think this is a great idea if you want to try something new, and something that you might not otherwise be able to get your hands on. Now, the great thing is that there's different subscription plans. Roughly, you get 2 1,000-piece puzzles. I don't think they offer anything higher or lower piece count wise at this stage. I don't know if that's something that will go into. Anyway, it's for you get 2 puzzles, and you can have them for 4 to 6 weeks. I think I opted for the 6 weeks because it just gives me more time, in between of everything else that I'm doing. So at the base level, the subscriptions start at $38 a month, which, when you consider that includes the shipping, is fantastic. I think that's great value for 2 1,000-piece puzzles, in shipping included. We know here in Australia, shipping even within Australia is quite pricey. It's like at least $15, on top of what the puzzle, is worth itself. So so there is that. And so I've got my new box now. I believe that I was the first person in Western Australia to opt for, you know, a subscription with this company. So I did receive a 10% discount because of that, which is fantastic. Thank you very much, Borrowed Piece. But otherwise, I did pay for my subscription. So just being transparent about that. This is the box that it came in. It came in a plastic envelope. It's got the Borrowed Piece there. I just love what it says here on the side. It says, plot twist, you have to give this back, but don't panic. There's more at the Borrowed Piece, which I think is cute. And then in the front here, it says, your borrowed adventure awaits inside, which, yeah. So let's open that up and see what I got. Okay, so we have got a little card in here that's got the instructions on how to actually, how this works. But the instructions are also on the website that you can have a look at. Now, got very excited with what I got. Now, first of all, I picked a Unified Pieces. And look at this bag. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, it's kind of velvety. It's not a drawstring, it's zipper as well. I've never done a Unified Pieces. It's been on my radar for quite some time. Oh, and the pieces are very, they're sort of satiny. They're a lot like how Art and Fable feel. And the matte, which is absolutely fantastic. Love matte. And so it's got the tag to tell you which one it is. This one's called Circle Serenity. It's 1,000 pieces. So let's have a look. Ooh, it is this one. Now, I don't know. Okay, at the back, it's got a little, so you got a stand there. So that's the image. Now, I picked it because it's nice and colorful. It's kind of abstracty. I think it's beautiful. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy doing this one. And I think this one, it doesn't really matter which direction you do it, to be honest. So I guess if I want to do it landscape, which I prefer, I will. So that's the label that I need to put onto the bag when I return it. Oh, and I've got a handwritten note confirming that, yes, I am their first customer from WA. And, oh, at the back, oh, that's so nice. Natasha, the owner, has kindly put in the address of where I can drop this off, what pickup points, you know, to mailing it back. And luckily for me, it's just, you know, like about a 10-15 minute walk from where I live. So that's nice. She went the extra step to look up where I can return the box. So, and the other one, it's actually in their own canvas bag with the print there, which I think is very cute, the Borrowed Piece. It's got the tag there saying the title of the puzzle and the fact that it's 1,000 pieces and the brand. And this one is Magnolia, and it's called Books Are My Friend, which indeed they are, me being a library worker. Let's pop that over there. And this is the image there, which I thought was super cute. I'm sure I'm going to have fun doing that one. Let's pop that there. Now, I have done a Magnolia before, once. I think it was once. And I really liked the quality. So I'm very happy that they offer that brand as well. Okay, and what have we got here? If you notice any pieces which need a little bit of attention, please pop in here. That's great. These little envelopes. So even when you get like new puzzles, sometimes like there's a bit that's peeled off and needs a bit of re-gluing, and you know, I've got my partner Marcus to do that for me. So I think that's a great idea. Even with brand new puzzles, even if you're the first person who's borrowed it, that might crop up. So that's great that they have this attention to detail. And I do believe their website says that when you return the puzzles, they will go through them, check it, and check the condition and the cleanliness, so you can be assured that it is not going to be like an op shop horrifying that, you know, it's changed hands a few times and you open that up and it's just, I don't know, it's got pet hair or it's got like, you know, a chocolate stain or whatever. So That's great. And then they include the bag to pop it in, and as I've mentioned, there's the address label that you stick on. So I am going to be busy, I think. So I will be doing those two puzzles, and I'll come back and just report on, how I found them to be, to put together. And also then my experience packing them up and returning them, and how the whole process worked out for me. Now, one thing on their website, it says that you can actually pause or cancel your subscription at any time, and I think you can do that through the website on the sort of your account portal, and that's also where you can choose your next puzzles, and so that's great. I think that kind of avoids back and forward email with the business. And I do believe that when it's time for you to return, they will send you a reminder, an email reminder saying, this is due back soon. And then once, they've received it back, I think you get an email to let you know when you can choose your next puzzles, which is, like being a kid in a candy store, as they say. So um, this is a very new experience for me, and it'll be interesting to see how it works out and what I think of it in the end. But so far, so good. So yeah, I'll be back to report on how I go with these two new gorgeous puzzles. Okay, so now I am back after having done these two puzzles. So I'll just give my thoughts on doing these two brands, and I'll start with the Magnolia one. This one, is a 1,000 piece. Books are my friend. I really enjoyed doing this one. As for the image, it looked challenging. It was challenging, but it never got frustrating, and that's a huge difference between finding something hard and frustrating and finding something kind of hard, but you never really got stuck, so to speak. So yeah, I started with of course, the lady in the middle. There was quite a separate part to her dress, and then doing her hair. I did the ladder as well, and the two, the hanging plant and the vase of flowers, and there was like also a small sort of framed picture as well that I pulled out, the string of lights above the vase. So every little thing that just stood out first, and the black sort of artist sort of signature there by the ladder, I also did first, and then it got interesting doing all those books. So doing the books was, I actually found that what worked for me was that I did them in a sort of blocks of colors. Now, the colors do repeat quite a bit on this image, so that made it challenging, but I looked for little patterns and blocks. And what I did is that I worked on them on trays, and then I had, without really looking at the picture much, and just going by instinct, and then I moved them over onto the main puzzle, and that's when I had a look at the image just to place these islands, and it really worked out well for me that way. Now, the quality of the pieces is absolutely fantastic. Great fit, matte pieces. They felt nice in your hand. They were sturdy. And like I said, I was moving islands. I could just pick them up and move them across and put them in. It was no problem. If you've done other brands, I'd say this was quite similar to sort of pomegranate, that same sort of matte and snug fit. So yeah, totally would do another puzzle by Magnolia, and I know the borrowed piece has quite a few more in their range that you can rent out. So I suspect there'll be more magnolias in the future for me to puzzle. Now, going over to the unified pieces. Now, I have never done a unified pieces before, so this was all new to me. Now, little did I know that the one that I chose was random cut. I didn't realize it was random cut. I don't mind random cut. It is harder to do. But it's not random cut in the way, say, like a Sun's Out random cut or Springbok, where you have the really wonky, tricky pieces. This was random enough without being that level of random, if you know what I mean. It wasn't that challenging. Lots of color in this one. Now, I found it quite challenging. But again, as with the Magnolia, it was harder than the Magnolia. But again, it never got frustrating to me. So I was quite happily puzzling away on this. I seem to have, and I've noticed it chatting to other puzzlers, that there's a bit of some people struggle with certain colors of the spectrum, and the orange and reds tend to really challenge me. So that sort of got done last, and I did the sort of more unusual pieces, like the paler sort of the apricot sort of colors, and like the grayish colors and the really dark blues. Anything that was sort of like smaller, I did first, and then got all the blues done, and bits of purple and that. But this sort of red, orangey part was quite challenging, but I loved it. And I tell you something, it's the pieces. The pieces are just fantastic. Now, the fit is not tight. It's not as tight as the Magnolia. It is not as loose as some of the other brands that I've done. It's sort of like in between. You can't really pick up islands and move them across. It will tend to crumble. I don't tend to do puzzle pickups, but I just sort of lifted a bit to sort of have a feel, of how it was going to hold together. And it wasn't totally crumbly, but it wasn't a tight fit that you could easily pick up or, move pieces. So there was that. Now, that is kind of a major factor for me whether I like a brand or not. But, so it was mediocre. But the quality of the pieces themselves, they were very sturdy. They weren't super thick, but they were very sturdy. And the velvety feel of them was just fantastic. Like the only other brand that I've tried that had that quality of velvety feel was Art and Fable. And honestly, doing unified pieces kind of reminds you of how tactile doing puzzles are. It's a very tactile hobby, and I love it. I cannot rant and rave and say more great things about unified pieces than I already am. But just bear with me. The feel every time you pick up a piece and that velvety feel in your hand, it just made it an utter sensory joy to put together this puzzle. And unified pieces, like, take your time with them, enjoy the feel of them. So yes, I was a big fan of unified pieces, and I've already picked out which one I would like to do next. So yes, there will definitely be more unified pieces in my puzzling future. So overall, I was extremely happy with the two that I picked from the borrowed piece, renting out these two puzzles. So it is actually time to pack it up and send it back home. Yeah, a little bit sad, but also very exciting to get the next round of puzzles. And yeah, so I will pack it up and send it on its way.